stop filling that out for a minute, and we're going to deal with this. We can always come back and do the filling out part, okay?
Gotcha.
That's good. You can fill it out while I'm talking. It doesn't matter. You know, it's classroom and everything like that, and you know, kids are distracted and everything. And it's all about multitasking, and that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. So I don't know if you had an introduction or anything.
I'm going to let Chef Dunny introduce you, just because he knows you better than I.
Yeah.
We picked up Nai's program probably 8 years ago, maybe 8 years ago.
Yeah, about that.
I guess we're one of the first ones around this area that picked it up. And at that time, our school, we're the School of Technology. This thing was incredible. We got it there. In technology, our school wouldn't work. So we used it a limited amount of what we really wanted. What I used it for is I put it in my classroom, and they gave me one computer for this. And once they did that, we couldn't get a computer. So we first got it, we weren't able to use it. Then we got a computer, so we just kept nothing but this program on. It worked great. I showed the students the demos. It would be somebody speaking, and he has like people from England on there, so you got to really pay attention to them. And I said to the kids, you're going to be working with people from all over the world, so this is great. You're seeing somebody speak, but you really got to pay attention. And then I would go,
Iceland too.
and they would show them one way, and if I didn't do it exactly that way, I said, that's great again, because you're seeing one way of doing it, I'm showing you another way. When we go in the kitchen, you can do it either way you want, they're both going to get the same results. I love the program for the demonstrations. It had at that time about 2,000 videos on it, I believe, where you could just go in and look and see all these different things. Now this program has been really updated.
Yes, absolutely.
This is kind of like the rationale element of teaching tools here, I think.
Set timer for 55 minutes. Talking to Siri.
Okay, 55 minutes and counting.
All right, so I got a timer going on there. So yeah, I mean, thanks very much, Chef Dunny, for that introduction. And actually, you know, that brings to a very important point, is that this is something that is a personal passion of mine, and something that I've been building for actually over 8 years. I've been building this for over 12 years, actually. And it's that constant dedication to the craft, you know, like, you know, all of us here who are chefs, you know, it's that dedication to the craft that makes that craft incredible. It's not like I do many other different things, but it's that whole entire dedication to not only just improving the culinary arts education, but also improving technology in general. So actually, that's a really wonderful segue. You know, talking about, like, you know, the technology with the rationale oven, and how, like, you know, that technology is a solution. And we always often think about technology as an encumbrance. You know, you have to try to integrate the clickers, or you have to try to integrate whiteboards, and it's difficult. And that's the problem with, like, you know, with these like tools that you're given, and you have no real great way to create a solution out of that. And what I'm going to show you is something that's been time crafted through, like, you know, hundreds and hundreds of chef instructors all around the country and even the world, where we built this system to be able to basically make your lives a lot easier, so that you can focus your time on becoming a mentor. So the very first thing I want to start out with is, like, you know, it's actually more than about the product. The product I'm going to show you, but I also want to tell you a little story about myself, because this is my own personal journey on how I basically got to where I'm at right now. This is my company, and I built this up basically from the ground up, bootstrapped the entire operation, no investors, totally wholly owned, and I had partners and everything like that. So it's like, it was basically a passion of love, and went into a whole lot of credit card debt to get to where I'm at. But the very first thing is that, you know, I want to let you know that I'm not just like somebody from MIT or somebody who's a genius. Actually, I grew up in a Chinese restaurant, so I'm a lifer. You know, I've been in the restaurant business from here, helping my parents organize stuff in the dry storage room, you know, working the register, busing, all the way to the food line, and I did that all the way through high school and college. So I've been through this for a very long time. But the most important part about this is that I'm not a genius. Well, a lot of people say I am. But the thing is, like, you know, in school, I had problems. I had attention problems. I would have been diagnosed with ADHD, but fortunately, I grew up in a restaurant, and we were dirt poor. So we didn't have enough money to be able to get me the proper care, which actually is a good thing, because it turned my biggest deficiency, which is the inability to pay attention to one thing, to hone it into a skill where I have the ability to pay attention to many things. And these kids that growing up now are in that same environment. They want to be constantly stimulated, and we have an education system where we're trying to barrel them down one narrow focus, and we need to adjust for that. You know, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to create this technology, is to address kids like me who have these problems, but it's actually not a problem. We just need better solutions to address those problems. I also had a problem reading. I had reading deficiencies. I couldn't read a single novel in high school. I can't comprehend the written language. I mean, English is a second language. But I gravitated towards computers, and computers was my outlet. So I learned computers. I learned how to build them. I learned how to program. I taught myself programming, and that was my way to really hone my energies. Because like a computer, I could go and build magic and new things. So basically, I have my two passions: technology and food. And I'm trying to create this magic with those two fields. All right, so basically I'm going to cover some very vast topics, but it's not going to be all about demonstrating the product, because the product speaks for itself. But I want to talk about like these global overarching concepts that we as educators need to follow. Anyone here has heard of flipping the classroom before? Mm-hmm. Everyone? Anybody not hear it? I'm going to give a little brief. I'm going to spend like about 5 minutes talking about that, because it's important to me for you to understand this concept of flipping the classroom is something that is a wonderful way to reach students in a whole new way in their environment. We're going to be talking about the cloud technology, cloud. Everyone's heard about the cloud. What is the cloud? What is the cloud? Anybody know what the cloud is? Anybody have an understanding of it?
I don't know what it is.
It's just out there.
It's just out there, yeah. There's cloud storage and there's cloud computing. And what we're going to be tapping into is both cloud storage and cloud computing, because everything is going to be in the digital age, going online. And that's the way that kids interact with everything now. Going mobile. Everybody has a cell phone strapped to them. Most kids have a cell phone. They don't even have a computer at home, but they have a cell phone that can do all these things that they need to do. So, there's a movement called BYO, not B, but D, in schools. We all want BYOB. Oh wait, BYOB. I typed it wrong. BYOB, BYOD. So bring your own device, or BYOT, bring your own technology. So a lot of schools are actually encouraging kids to bring their devices, their Kindle Fires, their iPads, their Nooks, their iPod Touches, because these are powerful devices. These are tools of the trade that everybody uses in the real world. And schools are actually, policy's starting to change. It's a slow process. There's still a lot of people pushing back against it because they want to regulate that environment. But the schools who are adopting it, who have adopted, there's actually lots of articles that I can point you to that have proven success, where their infraction rate went from like 30 instances a month down to 2, because they enabled this policy, and the policy succeeded because the kids respected it, the devices aren't banned, they're actually out in the open, and people know and understand what they need to use it for. You just got to set up the right rules, the right policies, and a lot of schools, they set up zones. So in this zone, you're allowed to do this. You're in this zone, you're allowed to do that. And they understand those rules, and they can work within that, rather than just saying, no. So, we're going to talk about adaptive formative assessments. That's a critical piece of technology that allows the students to be able to create a more enriching environment. And we're going to talk about how students experience it. So the very first thing we're going to talk about is why do we want to flip? Anybody have a good understanding as why we want to flip the classroom? Anybody? No? Yes? No? Yeah?
No, go ahead.
No? Okay. Well, I was talking to Brian, and you was talking about the inverted pyramid. You spend less time in lecture, more time in doing, because the lecture can be taken care of by the technology, by online, by all these different sources. So that's one of the reasons why we flip. One of the other critical reasons is because we're talking about textbooks. The textbooks of yesterday do not fit with the students today. So books are great. They were useful in the past, but kids don't connect with that. They connect with their devices. They connect with these things right here. Their tablets, their smartphones, and whatnot. In this case. So I want you to think about this as this is something that's evolved, because I have to tell you, I'm selfish. I developed this technology because I wanted to reach me. Because when I was in school, the education system didn't fit. I was actually a C average, B to C average student. For a Chinese person, that's sacrilege. But so all my peers are valedictorians. They played 3 or 4 or 5 instruments, salutatorians. They were high achievers academically, but I sucked in academics. I was awful. I actually gravitated towards family consumer sciences, shop classes, all these career tech ed, and I was considered the dumb one of the lot. But the thing is, I just didn't have the ability to apply my energy in the education system that was established. So I built this technology because I wanted to give the kids who are growing up now the ability to be able to learn as the way I really think I wanted to learn. And it's worked out really well. In fact, like just yesterday, I visited the Potomac Job Corps Center over down by the DC. They're using our product there at the Job Corps Center, and they have an open entry system. And basically, like they have 9 different levels, and the students can be at any one of those 9 levels within that same period. And it was originally I think a 9-month program, but they've actually gotten down to where kids can finish the program, their culinary arts program, in anywhere between 3 to 6 months because they have the access to the information, they have the technology to be able to do that. They have the computers in their dorm rooms, so they're not straddled with the only time, which is the lecture time, to be able to get the proper instruction. So, so what I'm trying to do is to dispense with the traditional classroom. In fact, I wanted to, 10 years ago, I said to myself, the reason I wanted to create this company was I wanted to kill textbooks because I hated textbooks. I thought that they were the most god-awful thing in the world to try to relay information to students. So it's all about finding information at your fingertips. So I'm going to show you this funny little clip here. I'm going to pull up. There we go. Oh wait. Turn the volume up. Update. I don't know what to do that.
Stick this in here, and then I'm going to pour in the milk. I hope this works because I didn't bring a change of pants.
Look, I Googled it. It's a fake picture. That's it. No cake for you. Anyone else want to join the no cake club?
She's just kidding, boys and girls. Everyone gets cake.
Not him.
So that's a funny little clip, but that illustrates what the kids expect. And that's what they have in life. They have the ability to look up all this information. You don't have to go to a library anymore to look that up. You don't have to go to the Dewey Decimal System. You don't have to use microfiche to look up articles. Anybody remember those? I do too. So the thing is, what we're trying to do is we're trying to create an education system that works in the environment that they're familiar with. We're not trying to push them back into the 1950s. We want to reach them in the era of today. So basically, let's see here. We're going to talk about what the different types of instructors. Are you the type of instructor who you're the Lord by the board? A lot of us in CT, we know that doesn't work. You're just up there lecturing. You've got this connection, But so we're guides by their sides. It's more of a mentorship program or apprenticeship program, and that's the time we really need to spend with our students. Is that time to guide them. We want to approach it with differentiated instruction. We want to be able to address every student at all their needs, using multi-modality models, reaching them using a variety of ways to get the same information across, but in different facets. Not one way fits them all. We want to create high rigor, to be able to make sure that they actually understand the information. And we're here today because we want to be better at our craft. So really quickly here, this is how I kind of see the education system. It's basically tied to entertainment. So when we were growing up, our form of entertainment was glued to. We sit in front of television, we watch TV, we get entertained by these cartoon characters, Mickey Mouse, Smurfs, some people, SpongeBob, Felix the Cat. So that was our form of entertainment. That was our way to absorb information. And we were trained that, we sit in front of TV, we get entertained, we have fun with it, and we get endorphins because it's funny, it makes us laugh. We learn a few things, so on and so forth. So that's what I call passive entertainment. Then, enter into the 1980s, and thereon, we get introduced to the gaming console, where kids now are being entertained not passively, but now they're playing with Mario, Link, Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid, or Sonic the Hedgehog. So they have these avatars, these characters that they're actually controlling the fates of and they're making decisions on how these characters will interact with the environment. You know, you make Mario jump in the hole, you die. Okay, don't jump in the hole again. You kick the turtle. You know? And you do that, and they're used to controlling their destinies through that method. So contrast that to the education system. You've got passive education and active education. So this is what the kids want. This is what the kids need. They want to be able to control their environments. They want to be able to make those decisions. Because that's what the entertainment industry has kind of put them into. So on to the actual demo of what I've done. Yeah, so any questions on the concepts that I just kind of outlined? Anybody? Any questions? Yeah, I mean, it's all the things that we already know that we need to do. But how do we do it? How do we do it? So over the course of the past 10 years and more, my dream was to be able to take a piece of curriculum, and I created that in culinary arts, but to apply technology to it. So instead of writing a textbook, creating DVDs, I wanted to use technology as the means to be able to make, what Chef Dunnigan said, was to be able to put kids in front of it and quickly access the information that they need. You know, this was actually before Google, before YouTube, before all these technologies. Now it's commonplace. So with that, over the years, I have advanced the technology in such a way where I'm going to be honest with you. Started out as a publisher. So like a publisher, like Pearson and Wiley and all these people, I created content. I created a whole lot of videos. I spent a lot of time and money with my partners creating all this content. 2005 comes around, YouTube, Wikipedia, all these websites. You know, just like that, the chef, what was that, the chef site called again? Ideal Chef. All these websites are coming out with free content. So, what does a publisher do? Well, in my view, these things will die out in less than 5 years, including ebooks, because it's an antiquated method. So, in my content, it's not going to be important anymore. I'll be honest with you. You know, I have great content. You know, it's excellent. I mean, you guys have experienced it before, a few of you, and it's wonderful content. It's curated. It's crafted. It's got great videos. But with all these free things, how can you say, okay, free versus paid for? That doesn't make sense. And I realized that. So, in order to basically stay in business, but also to perpetuate my dream, I wanted to create a system that spoke directly to the student, to create a student-centered environment that takes the content, whether it be mine or other people's, and craft it into a system that that really takes care of your day-to-day needs. And actually, make sure that this internet's active. Of course, so you know that cell service isn't the greatest here. But there we go. Okay, so what you're seeing here is the Sous Chef. People here are familiar with the Sous Chef. Like you've heard of the Sous Chef. It's been around long enough. It's not a fly-by-night product. No, that was the first product I created. Now, what we did was we took the Sous Chef content and put it online into this online learning environment. So first off, we're going to start with the content. Now, obviously, the content has a lot of great information to it. So we got it all broken into chapters and information. So if you want to learn knife skills, you come over here to knife skills, and you click on it, and you get to the information like so. So one of the first things that I want you to point out is that this is designed to be mobile ready, meaning you can log in on a computer, like a laptop. You can log in using your smartphone. You can log in using your iPad, Kindle Fire. We want to be technology independent, meaning that it doesn't matter what device you're using. You can, if you have the internet access, you should be able to get to it. So it's not an app. So the kids, they can look up the information right there on the phone. So you got cutting hazards, and so on and so forth. And we have videos in there. I don't need to show you a video because the videos are there. Well, actually, maybe I will, but it's just a video. So here's a video on how to hold your knife. So this is an instructional video, one of many that's found in the content area. I need water. Actually, I'm out of water.
I get you one. Keep going.
All right. Since it's on my cell phone, it's going to take a little while longer to load. But But the thing is, like, it's all about the information that's there. Oh, sure. And in the interest of time, I'm not gonna wait for this one video to load. If I was on Wi-Fi, it would take far less time. Oh, thank you very much. All the basic.
Went to my school, it loaded right away. We didn't have a problem.
Oh yeah,
Right
exactly. It's because I'm porting through my cell phone. Because actually, I couldn't connect to the school's wireless here. Let me switch it.
Just give you an example. One of my kids this year wanted me to teach him blown sugar.
Oh, I don't have
And I
a key.
said, there's no way
I'm
I'm gonna have the time to teach you blown sugar. Wow. He went on the internet and looked at it, came back from holiday break, and he said, look, Chef, I made all the pulled sugar candy canes for my Christmas tree. I'm talking to high school kids, senior high school kids.
Wow.
I said, wow. He goes, yeah. He goes, I watched pulled sugar. He goes, I think I could do it. I said, it's really difficult. He goes, I watched 8 different chefs do it. He goes, I think I could do it. I said, okay. I brought in
Push
stuff.
back up.
I can
Oh, yeah,
show you
good,
the piece.
good.
He made a piece as nice as any chef that I've ever worked with. He did a blown sugar snowman, and it's incredible. And he worked it on his own, watching videos. It was, I directed him once he got in school, but he learned this on his own.
Wow.
I was just there to guide him. If the kids, if the kids want to do this, what he's saying, I know it. I saw it this year. I saw it in action. It was incredible.
Yeah, it is. It's when you see it in action. It's there we go. Oh, I guess that's not it. I remember it was something different, like
Okay,
words.
let me check.
That's right. You're depending on the bias. So yeah, I mean, it's all about, because once you get it in the students' hands, they take off with it. Like at the Job Corps Center, they're not the typical standard classroom kids, like the ones that we deal with. And they took off with it because they want to be able to control their own learning. They want to be able to get at it whenever, wherever, however. They have cell phones, so they can pull it up on their cell phones and be able to do that. They do allow for that. So we got the content. We also have, so you can I'm just going to show you one more bit before I move on to the other aspects. Because it's not, like I said earlier, the content is the content. And it's important because I built it, but it's not important anymore because you can get it for free from almost anywhere. But one of the key things that we really focus on, like, let's say here, this is a block of content, like, big old hairy paragraph. Oh, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Did that work? Nope, that didn't work. I remember it was actually not numbers, but a word that you typed in for the staff. This is the staff wireless.
Yeah.
The other guy typed in the kind of like a so it's about really providing them the access to be able to do that and get the information once we get wireless up again. So anyway, so we have the content. Don't worry about it. It wasn't numbers. I know the code did not have numbers in it.
Okay, let me try one other one then.
This must have been a big project to have all this information.
Oh yeah, it was. It took over the course of 6 years. And actually, the funny story is one of my partners is a chef instructor, and it just started out as like a corny idea. It's like, hey, let's shoot some videos because I got sick and tired of these like textbooks and these videos from they had reel-to-reel videos of VHS tapes back then, maybe a couple DVDs from CIA. but they're like, let's just do this.
I get one.
So it started out as like a simple idea, and that was the technology frame behind it. So there's like, hey, I know this guy, this kid who was like, who was a whiz kid, they called me back then. And I'm like, hey, I grew up in the restaurant world. Why not? And then 15 years later, okay, here. Okay, I think that worked. Thank you. So so here we have information. We have this button here called key points. What it does is it converts, or it gives you a different view of the same information, but in bullet format. So it's really for giving them two views. So that we have the regular textbook version, and we have the bulletized, or our teachers call it the Cliff Notes version of the content. So so they can read through this and get through the information. Because in our environment, we don't care how they learn it, as long as they learn it, then we're happy. So we give them multiple ways to be able to view and learn the information. Let's go back. Let's go get to a video now. So we have. So we're doing poultry cuts. Here we have the poultry section. So let's look at the poultry cuts page. So it's all very well organized, but it's not anything foreign. It's pretty close, pretty similar to what you would see in a textbook. So you want to see a boning chicken? Here's boning chicken. I just pulled the internet. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Well, there goes that wonderful networking environment. Okay, well, let's move on. So now how many are unconvinced of this wonderful technology now? Okay, so we have content. Now, one of the key things is that we also want you to be able to customize it. So you can actually look at the content, and let's say you want to, let's say you want to go to food storage guidelines. You can actually change it. So let's delete these pages here. We give you the ability to customize it. One of the things I hate personally is canned curriculum. When you get handed a piece of curriculum made by someone else, it's usually you have to follow this strict way of doing things. But as we know, we don't all teach the same. We don't all teach the same materials. We all don't teach the same way. So you actually have the ability to be able to delete the content pages that you don't want, rearrange it, do whatever you want, craft it into your own masterpiece. But we do provide the backbone and the template to get started. So we give you the base content of what you need, with the videos that you need, so that you could actually start to move forward with it.
So it's customizable.
Completely customizable. So you can move stuff around. You can even mix content. So you can take content from butchering and put it into knife skills, or take content from baking and put it into safety and sanitation. It doesn't matter. It's like taking a textbook, saying, I want to rip this page out and put it here. I want to rip this page out and put it here. We give you the ability to do that. And you can craft it a different set of modules for a different class. So this is like one module. This covers only meat and seafood. And like I was saying to you earlier, you decide what modules and information you want to place in each class. And that's all you need to do. You place it in there, and then the students will have access to it, and then they can flag through their content. Now, as a teacher, you have that ability, and we don't want to limit you, because that's one of my big things. Is like I want to create a system that's not just a piece of curriculum that you follow. I want to create a system that you can make your own, that you could do it in the way that you want to do it. So we have the content. So let's look at a piece of content right here, like cooking techniques. Within cooking techniques, we have information, which will populate in a second. So these are all pages of information that the students are required to study. Then we have these different symbols here. M-A, here's an M-D, here's an orange dot, a green dot, I don't see any red dots, and an R. So this is just just want to let you know that this is an indicator to you as to part of the mastery system. So M stands for mastery, A stands for advanced, B stands for basic, R stands for resource. The colors indicate the level of mastery the student has on that particular piece of content. So the mastery system that we developed is a unique piece of technology that we call a personal tutor. So you can think of this technology kind of like the rationale. It takes care of all the mundane work of flipping the, checking the temperature, making sure everything's cooked properly. Now what we've done is we've taken the work of being able to create an individualized instruction to your student so that they can get direct feedback. So let's use the analogy, the personal tutor. So you created this module, you put it in a class called Cooking Techniques. Now you as a student, I'm gonna pick you right there. What's your name?
Sean.
Sean. All right, Sean, you need to learn cooking techniques. So you go, okay, Sean, your tutor is not. So you come to me and I say, okay, I'm gonna teach you all this information here. So I'm gonna give you access to all that information. You can learn it. There's videos, demonstrations, there's textual-based information. There's a lot of information in here. Now, after you're done, you're like going, okay, I studied. Now what? Now, in a traditional classroom, you studied it. Usually you have to go do a demonstration or you take a test or a quiz. So what we've done is we've done it in such a way where, okay, now you're done. What do you want to do? I want to know how well I know this information. That's what you say to me. And then I say, okay, answer these questions. So I'm going to throw a bunch of questions at you through a knowledge check. Now, we call it a knowledge check because we don't want to call it a test or quiz. It's actually not a test or a quiz, even though it looks like a test. It's a formative assessment. It actually is adapted to the student's ability. So these questions, I'm going to ask you. So I'm going to spew these answers at you. You're going to answer them. And after you're done, then as a tutor, I'm going to tell you, okay, based on your performance in those questions I gave you, you did really well on heat transfer cooking. Congratulations, good job. You've mastered that content because you competently answered the questions that I asked from that page.
Wait, so when the student studies the stuff, he's not going to show you? It's going to all be on his
No,
format?
this is covering the knowledge-based portion. You still have to take care of the show me part. We don't take care of that.
No, I was just wondering. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
exactly. So what we're trying to do is we create this system so that the students can get through the content in an effective way, so that you could be in the labs doing the actual hands-on. Yes.
What's the difference in the levels, the mastery, is it, how many?
We have 3 levels: novice,
Correct or-
apprentice, and scholar.
Right, so what, is it, how many they get wrong or right? Is that-
In a way, yes. Actually, so let me just finish this analogy here. So you did great. Now this next one, you did okay on. So we call this apprentice level. Now let's just pretend that there's a red dot down here. That one, that major content, grilling, you didn't do very well on. You didn't answer most of the questions I asked ask you on that. So go back and study that.
Okay.
But you say, hey, tutor, what questions did I get wrong from it? I'm like, you got stuff wrong on that. Go study it. But I want to know what questions I got wrong so I can study it, the answer for that. Nope. I'm going to tell you that you didn't do very well. Come back to me after you've studied the pages that I've indicated that are red. So that's the key difference, is that I don't tell you what exactly to look for. Because the second time around, you go back and you study, and you say, okay, now tell me how well I know this information. So I'm going to give you more questions, but not the same ones. Exactly. Because it doesn't matter. Because what we're saying is whatever the information is on a given page, all of the information is important. So you know how traditionally when you study for a test, you're reading that book, you're reading that page, you're trying to second guess the teacher, trying to figure out that one key critical piece of information that's going to be on the test. So you're just wasting your time trying to second guess. Instead of that, we're saying all of the information is important. So you need to go back and study all the information, because the next time around, I might ask you about this piece, or I might ask you about this piece. Everything is important. And that's what we call a highly rigorous formative assessment system. The questions are actually formed around the students. So basically, if the first time around they miss a lot of questions, we'll give them slightly easier questions. There's actually an algorithm in there, and this is part of the stuff that happens behind the scenes, like in the oven that you can't. It's all the computational stuff. We actually have an algorithm in there that actually determines what questions are easier or harder based on the actual performance of the students in your class. So if a lot of students answer a specific question 90% of the time correctly the very first time, then we mark it as easier, so we don't ask that question as often, unless if they really mess up. So it's actually adapting itself to not only your student, but your entire class. So every single class around the world will have different levels of the adaptive technology. So that's just an example. So you just keep going through that process, and I'll say, all right, good job. You answered more questions correctly on the grilling page. So I'm going to level you up. So I'm going to change that orange dot to a green dot, and then say, okay, you did well. But on this other page, this next one, you did worse. So I'm going to level you down, searing, and turn you from an orange to a red. So this is giving them immediate feedback. That's what's important. So they can go through, they can study the information, and they'll go through the test again, and then they'll get that feedback. And they continue this process until they master the content. So that's basically how we kind of address that personal tutor aspect. Because what we're doing is we're trying to personalize their learning environment. This is a student-centered learning environment. It's really, everything's focused on them, trying to get them through the content so that they can be ready for the classroom. So what do you have to do about this? Nothing. All you have to do is say, I want to teach the cooking techniques module to my class, and then let everything run its course. Now, obviously you have to have like internet access. You have to have all the basic fundamentals. To be able to do that. So you're probably asking yourself, okay, how is this happening? Well, I'm going to show you just like a really quick glance at our test tool. So this is our test tool, and what's showing here is all the questions that are found on each page. So you see that there's a large question bank that we're deriving those questions from. We have over 2,800 questions throughout the entire curriculum. So this one page, heat transfer for cooking, has all these questions. Down here, effects of heat on food, all those questions. Now, these don't have as many questions, so they're not master pages. These are just like kind of spot checks. Now, the reason why we have a lot of questions is to create that question bank so that we can ask different sets of questions. And the questions are determined based on the adaptive technology. So, so the first time around, I might ask this question, this question, this question. Next time, I might ask this question, and this question. So it's all about how large the tutor's brain is. And that's basically your glimpse into the tutor's brain. And you say to yourself, okay, what kind of letter grade can I give my students? Well, you can't. It's a formative assessment system. It's preparing them for that summative exam. So now we have a tool here that allows you to be able to create a summative exam. You can actually check off boxes here. Let's say I want to ask this question, this question, this question, and so on and so forth. Or I could just come over here, use my Bloom's taxonomy slider doohickey tool. I haven't come up with a good name for it yet. But randomly selects questions based on that parameter, remember, and I can do it for understand and apply. And then I could basically come over here and hit printer friendly, and it creates a summative exam, which I can print out and hand off to the students. In fact, if I save that question selection, which I'll basically use this question selection here, every time I do that, I create another randomization of those questions. So you can kind of create like an A/B test. So using the same questions, right now the first question here is using citric fruit juice to prevent chopped apples. So the next time I'm going to do this, using the same question selection, which I actually saved over here under test 1. The very first question is, which of the following statements about steaming is false? So you can see that, so you could really quickly and easily generate the summative exam to really check their knowledge on this information. And even the multiple choice answers are randomized as well. So there's definitely, I was a really, I wouldn't want to say a cheater, but I knew all the techniques when I was in school. And I try to prevent myself from doing that. So basically, so this is how you create an exam. And you can copy that into a Word document, save it for later, archive it, and so on and so forth. Now, another thing I'm going to show you, this is like basically a technology piece that's really far out there. You know Google, Amazon.com, all these big, huge e-commerce sites. The reason that they're so big is because they understand this concept called big data analytics. Now, what big data analytics is they actually can track the shopping behavior of everyone that visits their website, run algorithms, and figure out better ways to get more merchandise sold. So, because this is an online solution, we are able to tap into that same technology that Google uses, that Amazon uses, that Netflix uses, to suggest videos and stuff like that. And what we're doing is we're actually capturing 200 to 300 data points for every single student. So, very first off, we actually know exactly how the students are answering the question. So, we have that base knowledge of understanding. Secondly, we're actually tracking their behavior. So what time are they logging in? Where are they logging in? Are they doing it on a cell phone? Are they doing it in route on a bus? Are they doing it just before class? So basically, this is like that personal relationship. So as a tutor, I understand your learning behavior. I know exactly when you're studying. I know how long you're looking at a page. I know if you looked at a video. I know all this information about you. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to use this information to create big picture solutions. To be able to create ways to be able to figure out how they would perform and how, what steps we can use to basically get them to succeed. So this next tool I'm going to show you, this is a technology showcase we invented last year called Test Overlay. This is basically you as a teacher querying me as a tutor saying, hey, if I gave my students this selection of questions that I just made down here, these set of questions, how well will my students perform at this very second? So I'll say to you, okay, at this very second, if you were to give these set of questions to your class, I think your students will do this. So what you're seeing here is basically their grade and my probability of them achieving that grade. Now probability is based on how well I understand the student. So if you have low probability, such as this student right here, 7%, that means that the student went to me, they asked me, I asked them questions, and they answered to a 66% proficiency. But I don't understand their learning behavior. But down here, we have this student here who is going to get like an A with a 70% certainty. So this student, I understand more. I could actually tell you with a better certainty. This is part of the power of online. And this is one of the things that, we as KP are doing to really differentiate ourselves from the standard textbook, from the ebooks, because all that is static-based information. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to gather this information. We're trying to build tools. And this is just one tool idea. Like this next summer, we're actually going to be building predictive tools. We're using a concept called social banding. So now that we got more students going through the system, the online system, which has only been out for 2 years, before we were software, we actually create behavioral patterns. So we can say this student, based on 3,000 other students' behaviors, matches this path. And we think that this student's going to drop out at any time soon. So we'll send you a alert. And you'd be like, oh, I knew that already. Or, oh, I didn't know that was going to happen. But the thing is, it's just things that we can detect these patterns now and of behavior so that to basically inform you and help you with your job. So that's where I am passionate about, is basically building these tools so that you can become more effective instructors, so that you can reach kids like me, so that I could go, okay, I can fly on my own. Or I could go, I'm a little behind and I need some help. And you say to yourself, okay, well, you need some help, let me take a look at my grade here, and I can see where every single student's at, how many times they've gone to the tutor, so this is 3 times, 4 times, red dot means novice level. So you can actually go and take a look at that individual student and see and help them out. You can come over here and let's take a look at this student's profile. And by clicking on it, I'm actually able to view every single question that this student has answered and what they answered, if it was correct or incorrect. So you can actually do research on your students. Now you don't research every single student, you only research the ones that you really need to help out. That's taking a while to compile. So you have those tools available, and we're building more tools to help you out as needs come around. So if you have an idea, Chef Dunnigan, and you say, hey, I want to be able to do this analysis, I'll be like, hey, that's a great idea. And these other chefs have asked me to do this too. So we'll build that tool to be able to do that type of analysis on it. Well, let's go ahead and move on. So that's some of the really amazing tools that we built. Now the next thing I'm going to talk to you about is the stuff that we get for free. One of the other big pet peeves is, you have this curriculum and it's got this information in it, but you want to put your own recipes in it. You want to put your own videos in it. You want to put videos from that chef site, which is an awesome site. I'm going to send it to all my users who are using my product, because I encourage them to go to other sites where you get free stuff and put it in here. So you can use it as a source to be able to basically organize all of your content in here. So I'm going to log into an account which I've customized here. Any questions so far? Like it?
The Bloom's taxonomy, what was it, you touched on that.
Oh yeah.
What was that? Is that scale or?
Bloom's taxonomy is
Right, I
basically.
know what it is.
Okay. Yeah.
As far as how does it incorporate into your program?
Oh yeah, it's part of our algorithm. So basically, based on the Bloom's taxonomy, it changes the rating from master advanced to master basic or
Oh, so
intermediate.
that's the determination.
Yeah, that and behavior. So those are factors, and it's also a point of organization, so that you can use it as a way to say this is a compliant question. And you could actually add your own questions, which I'll show you here in just a second. So here's a class that I set up called Nai's Awesome Class. And within this class, we have a bunch of different content. And I'm going to go over here. So as you can see here, this is actually the food safety module that I kind of briefly showed you earlier. And the reason I switched internet sources because it's a little better. Okay. So what I'm going to demonstrate to you, this is a module that I've actually customized. So we start out with foodborne illness. So this is foodborne illness. This is the information that's in our system. You go, okay, this is a great piece of information. But next, I want to put in this YouTube video on cellular respiration. So you can see here, it's been popped right into the learning environment. They're not popped out onto another link. I don't know, anybody here use other online learning tools where they click on a link and it opens up another web page and then they have to close it to get back? Well, here it is right here within the same structure. So then we go to the next page, chemical and physical hazards. Then we have this page on blueberry muffins, taken from allrecipes.com. So that was like, you were making a commentary about all recipes. Let's say you've added a recipe, or you've added your own recipes on allrecipes.com. And the reason why I like all recipes is because they have awesome tools that are available, such as you can change the serving size, convert it to metric. It's all live, and they can access this on their cell phones.
So it's almost through a window?
Yes, exactly. It's an iframe. So, it's like so basically what you're doing is you're taking these websites and organizing it within a portal. So they're actually in a portal now.
So it's still just one main window.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can put little instructions here, like make 1,000 of these. So we go to another page of content, and then we go over here, and here's a video on bloodborne pathogens that actually a teacher made. It's a teacher-made video online.
How
then-
long will it hold the information? Will it stay there for a year?
You mean in your account?
Yes.
Well, indefinitely if it's active. Yeah. So.
If I put something from all recipes in there,
Oh yeah. Okay. If you're putting something from like a site, and let's say that site goes down, then it goes down too. Yeah, but you want to use reputable sites that you know will be there. So if you pull it from like Joe's recipe collection circa 1992, then you're like, okay, it might. So here's an example of an online cloud-based PowerPoint slide. So this is a PowerPoint slide using a service called SlideShare. So basically, since this is in the cloud, you don't have to download files anymore. So if you want students to study PowerPoint, you don't email it to them. You just put it right in here. And oh, it's too small. Let's make it full screen. So here it is. So this is actually an online cloud-based PowerPoint slide. And then actually, the service here is free. So you can actually, this is a service called SlideRock. If you can upload your PowerPoint slides, if you have any, put it into the service here, and then students will be able to access and view the slides. I'm just going through it really quickly here. You can use informational pages from your State Department. Anything that you can get to, and you put in your like so. This is anybody here use Google Docs or Google products like Google Spreadsheets? So you know the advantage of doing like online cloud-based documents. So now put that document right into the same interface. So this is a spreadsheet that's live. If I update it, they'll change values for all my students instantaneously. And here's another video, and this is a video that's actually taken from a website that we all know and sometimes love and not love. Let's see, wait for it to load here. But basically what I'm showing you is, like back to my statement before. I know that my content eventually one of these days will become unimportant because there's free stuff is going to happen all the time. Publishers are going to die. But the only way for me to become relevant in education is to create these tools and these technologies that I dreamed about 10 years ago. Well, that's not so here's a PDF document, and so on and so on. Here's a page from SurfSafe, so you can put information from anywhere. Now, okay, so you've taken all this information from other sources. You've actually put it into this site. Then what? Okay, well, now let's come over here and let's add a question to that piece of content. Now you've brought it into the formative assessment system, so students will be asked questions on that content that you just put in. And all you have to do is just ask a few questions. That's it. And that's the key difference, is like, you point into all this information, how do you wrap relevancy? How do you wrap accountability around the information that you give them? Yes?
Obviously, this phenomenal teaching tool will be spelled SurfSafe wrong.
Yeah, I know. I did it basically during the middle of the demonstration.
You said, sorry, ADHD. You said students have access to it,
yes,
via mobile device and whatnot. How does that get differentiated? If I'm on the SurfSafe page and I'm typing in a question, where's my site, where's their site? Meaning, what do they have access to, what don't they have access to?
They have access to anything that's not password protected.
Okay. Do we set the parameters on what is password protected and what is not?
It's set by the policy of the site. So let's say you're going to a site that requires a login. Then you'll have to probably provide logins for the students to be able to do that. So.
And what about just for the general KP site?
Oh, each student has their own individual account. Like I was showing you the grade matrix, that's each individual student's account. They're all individually tracked. That's how we're able to build
So we can sit there and track Jimmy's progress, and Jimmy's the troubled student of the day.
Yeah, exactly. So you're, so with the question editor, you should have true, false, multiple choice, short answer, or you can add an essay question if you want. But the essay question is not graded by the tutor; it's graded by you. You can change the Bloom's taxonomy of it, so on and so forth. So you see, like what I'm trying to do is create this like education tool that transcends a lot of and does a lot of things that we're already doing, but does it all automatically. Because all I want to do is I want the content, the questions, and it creates that environment. There's also gamification built in here. So like earlier, you saw that we have knowledge levels. So this is part of the gamification part. They level up their knowledge. We actually have a travel system where like they actually level up their character. So just cutesy little things, but the kids love it. I mean, they actually get the kick out of it. Some don't, some do, but the ones that do really love it. And they really resonate with that information. So let me show you really quick here. One thing that came up is like, let's say I want to put the, we were talking about math earlier. So let's go here. Let's look at this. So like, one of the problems that we have when you're talking about long division. So I just went onto YouTube and Google and searched long division. Here's a video, and let's say you watch it and you say, this is a great explanation of long division. I want to add it to the curriculum. So you go to the video, I'm going to click on it. And
Titus grants on YouTube for math help.
So okay, let's say I want to put that in there.
Has videos covering everything.
I'm going to click on share.
Calculus, all taught by us.
And these are all things I'm going to, I would teach you how to do. Because I want to say that, like, what I do is I create this framework for you, but I teach you how to use all these other internet tools on top of just using the tool that I provide. Because I want you to be able to use these tools to craft your own solution. So I come over here, let's go back to the KP site, and let's click on Add Embed, paste that in there, type in some description of it. I could type in a note, like only watch the first 3 minutes of it if I wanted to. Hit create. And then here it is, it's page number 21. I can actually move it to the position I want. So let's say I want to hit page number, let's say 9. Save it. Now it's part of the curriculum. So click on it. And here's that video from that tutor guy. Actually, another one that I pulled up earlier. Now this is really cool. Now this is something that was really an ingenious idea by another chef, and it demonstrates a really awesome concept on how to differentiate how to teach liquid measures. And I did that while he was talking on my iPad. Recorded it using a program here, and actually did this whole thing and uploaded it. Now that I uploaded it, I can come down here, click on share, click on the embed code, copy that, and then come over here to the KP site. So I make it look easy, but actually it is that easy. It's just a matter of getting to the information you want and making and basically customizing it the way you want it. And I love hearing stories of how you guys incorporate students recording videos on their cell phone. And that's a very important piece. They're using the technology that is already in their pockets creatively and in a useful manner. Imagine if we were in school and the only time they're allowed to use pencils is in school. And when they go back home, they're not allowed to use pencils or something like that. Think how awkward that would be. So our education system say, hey, you have smartphones, but you can't use them. And I applaud you for encouraging that aspect. So here we go. There's that page down here, and then here's the video about that. So this is basically demonstrating to you that this tool goes well above and beyond just the content that I created 10, 15 years ago over the course of time. It's a dream of mine to go and create this system that will fundamentally change education, because tools that use adaptive technology, tools that use big data analytics, currently don't exist in a very big form. There's companies who are trying to develop it. There's like one. But the point is that this is something that I've invested my life into. It's not like I wrote a book and I'm just sitting on it and making minor revisions. Wrote a book, did all this work, and I'm constantly creating new ways to dispense that information to the students and figuring out better ways to be able to reach them. So the way I see it is like, these chefs that invested in me all these years ago, Chef Dunnigan, who saw my product in its early stage, I call it an investment, because if it wasn't for chefs like you and the other chefs all around the country that bought into my idea, my vision, I wouldn't be able to build this. And this is all self-built. Myself and my team built this from scratch. We're not using anyone else's technology because all theirs suck. In my opinion, they all suck. Because they're all built by engineers. They don't create that relationship. And for me, it's all about building that personal relationship, building that personal tutor, but also making it easy and fun to use and accessible.
Have you done research towards a particular school district or a particular school and the amount of money that they saved in textbooks by utilizing this type of program?
No research, but other than people calling up and saying, "Oh my gosh," but no actual hard data research of, compared to before that, because I don't have the resources to be able to do that. We're still a team of 7 people, and we're not a huge company because we're focusing. We're focusing on a very specific area. So if I was the size of Pearson, then yes. Although if I was the size of Pearson, I wouldn't develop the technology like that. But anyways, so that's just a quick demonstration, and any information can be placed in here. So we go over here, we go click on this black bean video, and there we go. Okay, I want to incorporate that into the site. So I go here. Let's go to manage content, add link, paste that. Problem with having the keyboard all the way back here. It's making me work. Create that. Oops, there we go. And here it is. And there's the video load here in just a second. So like I'm saying, these sites, these places that we share with each other, these are great. I mean, I encourage it because I want all this information. The information that I have, it's good. It's great. But there's also so much other great stuff. And all that can be organized and made into a relevant arena.
And can you print
Yes.
out reports on students? Can you input student data in there, like their home address and their,
We don't encourage that
okay?
because this is a teaching tool.
Uh-huh.
And the primary reason is because this isn't a class management tool. It's a student-centered content management tool.
Okay.
So class management tools, they have tons of regulations through FERPA that they have to follow.
Okay.
That's why our system is a formative assessment. It's not a summative exam.
Okay.
The summative exam still has to be input into a secure site through your gradebook.
Okay.
So that's a good point. You've heard of Blackboard and Moodle and all these sites, right? They want to be a solution for everything and everybody. So they build their system for everything and everybody, but they only build it to a mediocre level. What we're doing is we're focusing on 3 key components. Get the information to the students in a very easy and to use manner. Give them the relevancy and the instant feedback so that they could actually learn through the process. And give them motivational tools to be able to encourage them through the content by bringing gamification in. So to that point, we don't do specific things because we want to focus on these specific aspects because no one else has really put that much focus. You can think of Apple. When Apple was taking, they said, okay, we're not going to have 1,000 product lines. We're going to have 4 product lines. And they made those 4 product lines the best that anybody can make. And that's how they don't want to be a solution for everybody. So yeah, we're not a classroom management system. We're not going to replace your gradebook or your attendance roster. But what we are going to do is we're going to create that environment so that your students can get to the information, level up their knowledge, and be able to excel. So I want to conclude with the fact that I've given Chef Dunnigan and maybe I don't know if I gave you, I know I gave you a sample, but I don't know if I gave you access. But what I want to do is I want to give you guys access to the platform and the content so that you can take a look for yourselves and vet it. And I can say that you'll like it because I've had chefs over the years use it, and we keep crafting and making it better. So what I need from you is I need your email address so I can create that account for you, and I'll email that account information so that you could so you can log in.
So I want to send it to my technology department, that's okay?
Well, yeah. So basically that account information,
name?
and you can just forward it on. You can sell it on eBay. Actually, not on yet.
No, I just.
I'm kidding. No, but the thing is, it's a lot of trust, and the thing is, like, I built this relationship with chefs all around the country over the years, and I give out my information so that so you could vet it, and I trust that you're not going to abuse it, and because for me it's an investment. You're investing in me so that I could keep constantly creating newer and better technology, so that you guys can be the beneficiaries of that. Yes.
How would you like us to get that information to you?
Oh, good question.
We have,
a piece of paper
we
or
have
a
that,
business card?
No, we have the,
Oh, you have the okay, never mind.
we have the roster that we have here.
Oh, you don't have to give it to me. Everybody who's on the attendance list will get one then. I just base it off that.
Okay, that's good.
Can you print out the test that you make?
Oh yeah, that summative exam that I showed you. The question selector, you can print out.
Of your
Yeah.
And
So there's the printer-friendly version. You hit the print button,
Can you,
or you copy and paste that to the.
can you change the test questions, like not change the question, like tweak them, take certain ones out, put some in?
Oh yeah, I mean you can. Well, with that summative exam, there's two answers to that. With that summative exam, you pick the questions first that you want to put into that.
Okay, that's what I was, yeah.
So that was a selection that I made. So
Okay.
here's super test, and you see checkmark box here, checkmark box here. Here's a question that I inserted in Chinese, so on and so forth. So you pick the questions you want.
Okay.
Secondly, if you completely don't like this question, you can remove it from the entire database entirely.
Mhm.
So you can say, okay, I don't want that question, so you click on remove.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah, so then it won't be part of the formative process.
Right.
So if there's a question in there that you don't want the student to answer for some strange reason,
Mhm.
or for probably a very good reason, then you could do that. So we
Yeah.
give you lots of different ways to be able to express yourself.
You can create your own questions?
Oh yeah, exactly. So on this chemical physical hazard page, I just come over here, click on questions editor, add a new question,
Wow.
just like that.
Today your PowerPoints. put it back.
Yeah, you put your PowerPoint in there, add questions to it. Now there's accountability.
If I wanted to do like a multiple choice question, but only leave 2 responses, can I do that?
Just leave the other ones blank.
Okay.
It'll say A, B, C, D, but C, D will be blank. Or it'll say A, blank B, C, and then blank B, because it randomizes the multiple choice answers too. Just do not say all of the above, because all of the above might be A. You can say all of these answers. That's only all of the above, but A is all of the above. Yeah. That was one of the things that our content creators are like, you can't use that question type. You can't say B and C. You can say is it this answer or this answer? Because of the randomization of the multiple choice. Yes.
I guess the question is like, how does it work? Is it
Oh yes, good question.
year?
Yeah. So this is online access, 24/7 student and teacher subscription site license. So basically, one price for all of your students. This is not based on each individual student or seat.
Excuse me, this is my question for you. Your videos, they won't come up because the internet's not on, or we think we're blocking them from here, or?
I don't know, but I've actually been bouncing back and forth between my source and the other source. So I think I might have confused the. So maybe if I did this and restarted it.
And your internet, your videos may come up because we're on internet from here, right? You are on internet.
Yeah, right now
us?
I'm on internet for you. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's not. So I'm confusing. Oh, when you went to your account and it's not working?
It's not working.
Huh. So maybe it is. Oh, that's right. You guys were working on a whitelist system, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it needs to be whitelisted within this building. That's why it's blocked.
Okay.
So the main URL, this one, but we use Rackspace, so it's a Rack CDN.
Okay.
And
I'll check it out.
that
I'll
URL
see.
specifically needs to be white. All right, so yeah, the school's blocking our video server. That's why. It's not working.
You spoke of the subscription price,
Yes.
but is there a limit to how many students?
Well, we cap it off at around 300. Well, we don't cap it off. We get an alert, say abuse. Most schools don't go over 300.
I mean, we're flirting with the 100 plus.
Yeah, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Now we have classes ranging from anywhere between 15 all the way up to 200. So, so basically, the price is dependent on is basically a subscription price. It's we do it year by year. It's $2,250 per year.
2,250.
Yes. So some of you say, "Oh my gosh, that's so cheap." While some of you might say, "Oh my gosh, that's so expensive." I guess it's all based on it's all relative based on who you are. But it's a very good price, and it keeps me developing. Actually, I can charge more for it, but I'm not going to. So that's a year by year. Well, basically we have 2 options: a la carte or combo meal. So a la carte, basically, is you can do that. We have a training and support package, which is a professional development that actually gives you year by continual professional development every year. Like this summer, we're actually launching a new tool. I just showed you really quickly here. It's really awesome, called project-based learning. And what it does is it enables you to be able to build projects within it, have students take a video or picture on their cell phone and submit it, and you can grade it against a rubric. And then if they complete all the elements of the project, then they receive a badge. So, but anyway, $700 for the training support package, or you could do multi-year. We have a 3-year deal. It's $5,250. No, $5,400. Sorry, but $5,400 for a 3-year, which includes the training support package. So you can have continual training year by year if you want to. Some teachers do, some teachers don't. It's always there whenever you need it, and you get direct access to me. We also have, so basically the 3 years like buy 2 get 1 free kind of thing. And then the 5-year is $7,500. So if you want to plunk down for 5 years, it also includes the training support package. So that's basic pricing for the system. So yeah, you get the content, and that's the base template. That's where you start out with. Then you start adding to it, and then you start modifying. And then you craft basically, like what a lot of our teachers say, you're building your own textbook in a way. And you're making it yours. Yes?
So it's, when you said, touching on the a la carte, what was it, a la carte is another one also?
No, it's basically multi-year or a single year. So single year is $2,250,
Right.
and then the optional training support package. So
I'm sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
Do you update anything?
Oh yeah, so with that subscription, the content's constantly updated. We're constantly developing new online tools. So a year ago, we didn't have that personal tutoring system. So basically, the students would take tests and they would get results and things like that. But we've kind of refined that, and we've built better technology. We built better reports. We were building project-based learning this summer. So you can actually build, like I was saying, building projects. We're building, like, so you'll get these new technologies year by year. So it's not like, it's like, hey, we created this new tool, pay for it. Hey, we created this new tool, click on this button, see what happens. Or if you want training on that. So it's basically like, it's a technology investment. And that's the beauty about online, is that we can improve it, we can make it better. We're actually building our student experience right now. The students would go through the experience, and it's called the Compass Travelers. They would actually travel the world. Every single module is assigned to a different city, and they get little factoids about the city. It's cutesy. This next generation, at the end of summer, we're going to be enabling mission-based modules. So basically, when the student enters it, they'll be like, here's your mission. Pick the missions you want to go up against, and then they would complete that mission, and then it would unlock other missions, and so on and so forth. So
That's really good.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of video game stuff that I want to bring into it. It's just we have to do it baby steps at a time. You can't just do it all at once. Yeah, another question?
How does the training work? You said we have direct access to.
Yeah, so we do it through a one-on-one online screen sharing session. So basically, what it is you sit in front of a computer or a projector, and I move your mouse around. I show you stuff, you do stuff, and we spend about an hour to 2 hours, depending on your comfort level. So it's very individualized.
And how, as it progresses through the year.
If you need it again, yeah.
So at any time I could call you and say I need
Yes.
such and such.
Yes, exactly.
Talking about the call you, when we call, are we gonna get a person?
You get me, or one of my partners. So like I said, we're not a very large company, and the fortunate thing is, like, for the most part, we don't get any support calls at all, other than the site is blocked, and it's usually at the very beginning of the year, as we find out. So once it gets going, once you get your students on it, it really takes care of itself. So we don't have to hire a huge support staff, which is really, really, really lucky for me, because.
Well, it's like if you call Yoo-Hoo or Donald or any of them, you never get.
Oh yeah, no. Remember, you'll get access to myself or another developer or somebody who's like ingrained in the actual development process. You had a question?
Yeah, how many hours annually is provided in tech support in the contract?
Oh, in the contract, basically we provide about 4 hours, so up to 4 hours. If you go beyond that, it's okay. But in the contract we say.
So you get 4 hours of tech support annually.
Yeah, training and support. Well, actually, support you get. We won't say unlimited, but we do about 20 hours if you need it. But our support.
You said the training is 4 hours and the on support is about how long?
About 20 hours. But the thing is, though, no one's really exceeded more than about 10 minutes.
Okay.
So usually it's a very simple problem. Because the beauty about this is, like, it's online, it's mobile ready. So that means, like, any computer or any laptop or digital device can log into it, as long as the school's not blocking it. And that's the key. As long as the school's not blocking it, but it's usually called to the IT department and say, hey, I need that site whitelisted. And that's actually very few and far between. Most people just blacklist instead of whitelist. Whitelist is allow, blacklist is just deny. So usually we're not blacklisted, so it's typically a very open method. And you, yes?
No, I was saying, can we possibly go ahead and start the lunch now, and then I'll
Yes.
have those guys try to unlock it for you, and then at the end, we can maybe do this, like get this guy broken down.
Oh yeah, totally.
All right.
Yeah, let's do lunch. I mean, I know I exceeded the time by a little bit, and I try to stay up around time. But thank you so much for your attention, and I really hope that you like the stuff that.
But leave it up there, because we're gonna try to unlock it so
Okay.
we can see the rest of it.
All right, I'll do that.
You're probably gonna have to remove it.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, we can go ahead and have lunch real quick.
So there's no.
Help yourselves, well, lines, we got everything set up.